ladies and gentlemen, and being a producer of Wrestle Massacre as well as Inside Movies Galore, I am David Strege, and welcome to Delusions of Grandeur. Enjoy the reviews. I certainly did.
Listen to them, children of the night. What music they make.
That's what I call getting some head.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Delusions of Grandeur. I am your host, David Strege, and these are not video reviews. These are collection videos. I know I mentioned in my video before this that I was doing video reviews. Well, they are not video reviews. They are just showing you what's in my collection. And this is episode 5 in What's in My Room. And this episode is going to be called Whatever's Lying Around. So I actually have a desk here that my computer is sitting on, and I'm just going to show you some of the movies that I just have lying around here to get those out there in my collection videos. So the first one that I'm going to show you is a movie called Prophecy. And it's from the 80s. I know it has several releases out there, but having this copy from Paramount Pictures is just fine. It's directed by John Frankenheimer. It's a Robert L. Rosen production, and it stars Talia Shire, Robert Foxworth, Armand Assante, Richard Dysart, and Victoria Rosimo. The music is by Leonard Rosenman. And I'll read the back here. Prophecy is a contemporary story of stark terror. Now, the Crypt of Horrors, which is a friend of mine, he has been wanting to do this movie forever. So I've had this sitting here waiting for us to discuss it on Inside Movies Galore. But I also plan on doing a review on it eventually. At least that is my goal. Prophecy is a contemporary story of stark terror. Robert Foxworth, who was in Syriana, Talia Shire, who was in Rocky and The Godfather, star as a doctor and his wife, who, at the request of a concerned friend, travel to Maine to research the impact of the lumber industry on the local environment. They begin to investigate a succession of mysterious and terrifying events, ecological freaks of nature, including fish that grow many times their normal size, and a series of bizarre and grisly human deaths. Veteran suspense director John Frankenheimer manages to present Prophecy as a monster movie, as well as a suspenseful tale about the deadly forces which result from the pollution of the environment. So this is kind of a man against nature kind of film. Now, I have not watched this film as of yet. It's been sitting in my collection, and I plan on viewing it eventually. There we have it. Now, I've actually been uh, working with this app to figure out how many movies I actually have, and this is actually a copy of Peter Baestorff's film from 1996 called Ellis Common Suakarn. They Eat Your Meat. And it is a gore film. It has no English subtitles whatsoever. And it is 73 minutes, according to this. And it isolated groups of cannibals in civilization celebrate marriage, tax of meat and property taxes, senses of dismemberment, and explicit nastiness. This is from Toxic Films, Jason Toth's company, and I thought that was a unique thing to have, even though there's no understanding the Brazilian language in here whatsoever. I wish it had subtitles, but there we go. So there you have that particular film. Recently, we just discussed on Inside Movies Galore A Silent Voice, and this was directed by Naoko Yamada, and this company was in the news not too long ago. Evidently, an bombing had actually happened at the studios that made this film. And this film is about bullying and a relationship with a deaf girl through this, and how the characters interacted with each other after realizing, or some of them realizes is the extent of their actions. So it was a very moving film for me, and it was very beautifully written. I thank Septum Sim versus the World for suggesting this film for us. And I actually got this film along with 3 others sent to me by him. So thank you for that. He also sent me another film, which I'll do in another video. There we have it, A Silent Voice. There's what the cover looks like. So, I guess a couple of weeks ago, we also did Barfly, which it was a movie from the 80s. Now, this is the Korean copy, but it works just as good. I mean, it was directed by Barbette Schroeder. Was a Canon film. And Francis Ford Coppola had something to do with this film. And it starred Mickey Rourke, Faye Dunaway, and evidently they produced this film as well behind it. And Frank Stallone, Sylvester Stallone's brother, was in this film. So it was definitely different. It's Brandon from Septum Sim's father's favorite film, and he wanted to do this for his father on his Father's Day, and evidently he's sick and in the hospital and not in the best of health. So we went on about it, and I just happened to have it in my collection, and we did something about it, and that's why that this film is lying around. Now, I'm not sure exactly why this is lying around, but I just haven't gotten around to putting this back away. But it is Chris Nolan's Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises in a nice little DVD set here. My grandmother really liked these films, and bought myself and my fiance a copy of this. This film. and it's in a really nice set. Um, it's got the digital copies in here. um, so it's definitely a limited edition. I think this is a comic book that came with it. Amazing making of. Yeah, it's got pictures from the movie. So kind of a nice set. I wouldn't mind rewatching it eventually. Sorry for bending down there, but yeah. See, originally when I first saw this trilogy, I wasn't an entire fan of Christian Bale as Batman, but I got over it, and I started to like this trilogy, especially the Joker. The Joker was very different in here. It was played by Heath Ledger, and he died supposedly because of how dark the role was in the first film. And then, of course, there was a tragedy that happened during the making of the second film of a guy who dressed up as the Joker and completely lit up a theater with and riddled it with bullets, killing a few people or whatnot, and that's kind of its legacy. So that was lying around here, and okay, so I've got a couple more here, which give me a chance to bring them out. So not too recently, a composer for silent film restorations was campaigning on Kickstarter for for 12 Alice Howell short films, and my name ended up being in the back of both of the discs on this set, with Under Crank Productions. Ben Model is the name of the composer, and he's gotten the rights to, since many of these silent films or whatnot are in the public domain, he's been able to put them out in collections and distribute them through Lullaby Productions, BFI, working with many of these different distributions to put them out to the public for them to see. And I think it's amazing that I was able to be part of this collection. I mean, I watched this whole thing, and I still have yet to do a review on them. And it's kind of funny how animated Alice Howell is in them, and then how fast the Keystone Cops seem to run after the characters here. So yeah, the Alice Howell collection. I contributed to the restoration of these films, and yeah, that is sitting here because I wanted to rewatch them. Another one. This one's called 16 Tongues, and it's one of the older DVDs from Subrosa Cinema, which is owned by Ron Bonk, but this particular feature is directed by Scooter McCrae, who did Shatter Dead, which I do have, but I was planning on watching this fairly soon. I watched Shatter Dead, and there were some interesting things about the film and whatnot, interesting characters, and I wouldn't mind watching this to see how this production was done. And this particular film supposedly took 7 years for him to finish. So yeah, I definitely want to check that film out. And this was a film that we went on about last week called Summer Wars. And I really liked it. It supposedly had some elements that were used in Ready Player One, where this particular film had, it was directed by, I can't. Kakira Natsuo. No, you. Well, in any case, it was a fascinating film, fascinating watch, and we enjoyed talking about it. And yeah, that's whatever is lying around. I couldn't remember the name of the director right offhand, but it was definitely a unique adventure, and definitely a different family, different situation, and it had a similar world to in the liking of like Ready Player One and stuff like that. So, in any case, thank you for listening. Have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever you are. Appreciate your time spent on my page, and you're more than welcome to watch more videos. I've just been doing a lot of collection videos lately. I will get back to reviewing, but I wanted to do something different to spice things up. So, in any case, I guess I'm getting into doing collection videos a little bit more.
You were good, kid, real good. But as long as I'm around, you'll always be second best, see?